Okay, white girls, because this video is specifically for you. How come it's okay for y'all to historically exclude us from everything because we're not women enough, we're not attractive enough, we're not good enough for your little circle and clique. But then when we have something for ourselves, you want to sit up here and include yourself, or else we are just these mean, exclusive bitches that just don't like you, delicate, nice little white girls that just wants everyone to get along, that just wants us to just be women together. Like, no. And I'm saying this because lately there's been just this rise of white girls wanting to be included in everything that is otherwise black women's space, black women's sanctum. And y'all always want to include yourself in it. But by including yourself in it, you have no problem pushing us out of our own spaces, especially when it comes to black entertainment and black men. Oh, you love it when we are excluded from our own spaces, but then when it comes to your space, you want us excluded from that as well. So where can we fit in? Where do we fit in? Because the thing of the matter is, as black women, we don't grow up hating white women. Contrary to popular belief, we don't grow up with this inherent hatred towards white women, especially us black girls who grew up in the suburbs where all we saw were white girls. You know damn well we did not grow up with this ideal that white girls are mean and they get everything. No, so many of us try to be your friends as children. So many of us try to play with you, but a lot of you guys dismissed us, or if we did play with you, you regulated us to maid roles. You made us play with dolls we really didn't want to play with because we didn't identify with them, just like scary spies. A lot of us did not want to be scary spies. A lot of us wanted to be posh or baby spies because in terms of personality, we related to them the most. But you made us scary spies because she was the only black girl of the group. While you guys got to pick which Barbies you wanted to play based off personality and this and that, we got to be scary spies. Someone we did not identify with just because she was black and had natural kinky hair. Do you know how ignorant and scarring that was for me as a child? For white girls to literally just throw black dolls at me and say, here, play with her because you're black. And you're basically saying, play with this ugly Barbie doll because you're ugly like her. And that's what a lot of you guys is thinking. A lot of you guys were like that as children, excluding black girls from spaces, making them feel unwanted. And then when we grow up to think, hey, we don't want to be friends with these white girls because they are racist, then y'all want to get mad and play victim and say that we just don't like you because you're white. You're full of shit. You're full of shit, and I am speaking from a suburban black girl perspective because I did go to school where it was mostly white girls. Because I feel like when it comes to that, it'd be the suburban white girls that have the biggest problem with us. Because the hood black girls, from what I understand, they ain't the ones that are sitting here saying, black girls are just jealous of me because black guys like me. No, it's these little suburban white girls that come from the suburbs, come from these privileged areas, don't understand what it's like to be black or from the hood, and want to sit up here hating a group of people that they inserted themselves into their space. Y'all come here and think because I'm white, I can get any guy I want. Because y'all had no problem making fun of black girls that had a crush on the cute white boy in class, and y'all would always whisper behind each other's back and say, hee, like he'll never like her, like she's ugly. Like a lot of you girls had that type of thinking. But then when it comes to black guys, oh no, like they have to have a preference. Like if they don't like black girls, it's just their preference. But white boys can never have that preference for other races of girls, especially black girls. You know, it's understandable if John Mayer is racist and doesn't like black girls other than a Hillary Banks. No, but a black guy can sit here and say that he prefers Lupita Nyong'o. You have a fit, and I've seen it. Reese King is an example of this. Reese King says so many uplifting things about black girls on his Twitter all of the friggin' time and on his Instagram live. So many white girls be coming up in his mentions saying, oh, well, like, it's just a preference. Like, don't you have a preference? You must have. Like, they always try to convince that guy, like, oh, well, you can't like everybody. Like, you have to have some type of preference, especially when, because I first followed him off of the comment he made about the fat black girl who was getting made fun of. And he's like, no, like, she's beautiful. Like, you know, just because, like, she's a black girl who's fat and she loves to skate and she has flowers in her hair. Like, he was defending her And a bunch of white girls were just so angry at him. Like, you know, how dare this half white boy, you know, have some loyalty to his, you know, black fans. Like, you know, no way. Like, that's just how you guys are. It doesn't matter if you're mixed. It doesn't matter if you're light skinned, dark skinned, monoracial, full black, whatever. You have to like white girls because white girls are number one. That's just how it is. And I've seen it with Ashley Martell, who I actually liked. I actually thought she was pretty. Like, she's a pretty girl. But one person said, you know, I'm not really into white girls. And then Ashley Martell puts on her Instagram, well, he's not going to turn down this Becky. Like, you know, I'm white and pretty and blonde, and I'm basically like a black girl myself. So all black guys must like me. So I called her out on it. I wasn't even mean about it, and she blocked me. But okay, Ashley, you know, you can continue to appropriate off of my aesthetic just to keep a black guy while you be racist as hell asking if you can say the N-word, bitch. Like, come on. I hate that. But I'm talking about this because I see a lot of it with hip hop culture where white girls always got to be there. They always got to have a good time, you know, because they don't even like their own race. They think their own race is trash. They think white men is trash. And that's the real reason why they always want to be up in black men's faces and always want to date them, because they know their own race of men has a history of oppression, rape, misogyny, genocide, all of that. But instead of owning up to the fact that they also contributed to it, they just want to avoid it and then hop into some other woman's spaces, kick her out of it so she don't have any place to stay. And that's their logic. That is really their logic, because a lot of y'all don't like white men. And I understand why you don't like white men, but y'all want to sit here and act as if black men can save you from that. Meanwhile, there is really no reason why black men should be protecting you from anything. Like, this is what I don't understand. There is really no reason why black men should prefer you over black women other than misogyny war, white supremacy. Yes, I understand people are going to date whoever they want. I understand this. But when it comes to white women and their racism and their internalized misogyny in particular, they take that out on black women. They must be upset at the fact that when we were slaves, white men were raping us and choosing us over their Southern belles, these delicate white women, and they took it out on us by killing us, committing infanticide, like killing biracial babies, doing all this shit. But when y'all could have biracial babies, it's different. You know, y'all have a history of murdering biracial babies. Y'all do. Y'all have a history of murdering mixed babies. But oh, when y'all had that chance to have a mixed baby, then y'all were rallying or whatever to change the sentence of a biracial baby and tell people that they were mixed instead of black because you did not want to claim your pretty baby as black. No, they were different. That's just how a lot of your thinking is. I don't have time to say not all, because it is enough of y'all that have that mentality. And I've met white women who are cool. I've met white women who prefer black men, who treated black women like human beings as their equals. And they didn't dare disrespect black women. No, because they knew where black men came from, or they knew who was in their space. I like those white women. I don't like you who comes into our space thinking that you are owed everything just because you are a white girl and we have to include you. And if we don't, we have internalized misogyny. That's not what it is. As I said, black women did not grow up hating white women. Black women did not grow up not wanting to be their friend. So many of us try to be your friend, but we were either too nerdy, we were too weird, we were too ugly, whatever. You didn't want to be our friends. And then when we finally have our own space to just relax and vent, then you want to come in like, can I join? No. And I know which white woman wants to join our spaces and which one wants to join our spaces just because they want to sit here and claim everything. Because there are white women who I do trust. I follow white women, but most of them are disabled like me, neurodivergent, and have autism. Okay? So there are white women that I trust, but it's not every white woman. No, I'm not going to just follow any white woman just because they are women. But I just hate how when we grew up as little girls, you know, we couldn't be friends with the cool and pretty white girls, you know, that had the nice hair. You know, we couldn't date their boyfriends or their guy friends because, you know, they're exclusive to the white girls. But then when they come into our space, oh, we have to share, you know, like black boys have the right to date white girls because it's just their preference. Even though there's a history of oppression, genocide, and mutilation at the hands of white women, you know, black men have the right to trust these white women because white women aren't the real issues. It's the white boys that that, you know, we don't like, you know, and let's conflate black girls to these white boys that don't like interracial couples. Let's do that while we are at it, because one thing I don't like is how people believe that black women looking at a white woman funny with a black man is the same thing as white men murdering interracial couples. And let's talk about this. The majority of interracial couples that were murdered, guess what, were black women and white men, or black women and their children. Oh, you did not know that. That's why when I put on my blog about the black Germans during World War II and the Holocaust, the majority of the people, the black people that were killed during the Holocaust, were black women and children of those black women, biracial children. Y'all don't talk about that. Y'all don't talk about how the majority of interracial couples that are harassed are ones where a black woman is involved. Where a black woman is involved and the black woman is typically raped and murdered. And I'm not trying to be morbid or anything, but y'all need to know this because I'm sick of false information on being a black woman or being in an interracial relationship. When I am with a white man in public, I get very nervous. I get nervous because I know that there are black men who will street harass me, stare at me, or catcall at me, or say something very ignorant and inappropriate. Because that's how it is. Black women are less safe in interracial relationships than black men. For the most part. For the most part. But no, it's white women that are the victims of harassment from black women because a black woman looked at you funny or a black woman rolled her eyes. That was threatening to you. That was threatening to you and your black male partner. Not the fact that white boys were going up to you, calling you whore, calling you a nigger lover, calling you a slut, because I'm sure you've been told that, but you ignored it and say, these are just weak little white boys, blah, 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 because I got my black strong man to protect me. But then a black girl rolls her eyes and questions your intent of why you are with a black guy, and that's just the end of the world. You just fall out. You just fall out. So that's why I don't like the fact that Migos always wants to include white girls or non-black women from the suburbs that don't understand black culture. They just understand it from black men and from hip hop that they listen to. They only get their information of black culture from black men. Because cishet black men are always seen as these gatekeepers of everything black. You know, depending on who gets their dick hard, they can be black. Because to them, misogynoir is the fact that black womanhood is fluid. Anyone can be black. Anyone can be a black woman, especially with the whole Rachel Dolezal situation. And so many coons were coming to Rachel Dolezal's defense. And there were some black women like Carrie Hilson, but for the most part, it was black men that were defending Rachel Dolezal. Because to them, black womanhood is public domain. It's fluid. Depending on who is sexy to them, depending on who is pretty or attractive or beautiful, they can be black. It's so ironic because we are supposed to be undesirable. We are supposed to be like the least desirable women on earth. But then the paradox is, this is a paradox, that whenever a woman is attractive or reminds them of some type of black womanhood and she's not black, oh, she's black, especially if she's attractive. So how can we be the least attractive race on earth where we just don't get any type of respect, but a white woman who is pretty or attractive reminds you of a black woman? You know, you don't say this to just these regular, you know, average Joe white women. No, a white woman who is just exquisitely beautiful. No, she's like a black woman. So how are we the most ugliest women on earth? But every woman that you find attractive reminds you physically of a black woman. How is that even possible? How do you not like us, but then you like black women as long as we have lighter skin, if we are yellow or red bones? So you can't tell me that you're not attracted to black women. You're just not attracted to the darker skin. You're not attracted to the idea of black women at all. You only see us as physical beings. You only see us in terms of looks. You don't like us because of misogynoir. That's the only thing. I discuss this all the time with my friend on Twitter. It's not that black men don't find us attractive. No, it's that they find us attractive, but don't have respect for us. And they use things like we aren't attractive or we aren't worthy as a form of control because they don't want us to have confidence. They don't want us to feel good about ourselves. Once we feel good about ourselves, especially in this era where it's Black Girl Magic, Melanin Monday and all of that, now more black women are starting to see that we are beautiful, how we are, and black men are mad. Now they are making threads about how, you know, black women don't love us and, you know, we are just joking, like, and they always want to love the white man. Like, it's so funny because, again, for a group of women who is so undesirable, Y'all seem to desire us so much that y'all don't want any other man to touch us. See, that's funny. Y'all can rap about foreign hoes, foreign bitches, light-skinned bitches. Y'all can rap about fucking anybody under the sun. But then if Serena Williams or I or somebody else were to date a white man, y'all fall out. Y'all just have a fit. Y'all have a fit. Why? I don't know. We're undesirable. We're ugly. So why do you feel as if our bodies belong to you? Why do you care if these ugly women date white men? Why are you so offended? That's what I want to understand. If we are truly undesirable, if we are truly ugly, why do you care if a black woman dates a white man? Shouldn't you be happy that she's off your hands? No, because it's never about not being attracted to black women. It's about control, simply control. Y'all will say whatever you want in order to control a black woman. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. And it's the same with white women, because a lot of white women even acknowledge that black women are beautiful. White women know this, and that's why they sit around trashing black women all day with their happily relationship with a black man. This Jessica Santos woman, I think she's a fake account, but on Facebook, she's always going around on this page talking about how, I love interracial couples and blah, blah, blah. Like, bitch, you're only doing this because you married a black man, and you know that probably in the past he's dated black women, and you are probably the exception. You are probably the only white woman that he's ever dated, or if you're not, you still don't like the idea that he could possibly be attracted to a woman who looks just like him. And that threatens you. That really threatens white women. The fact that some people can be attracted to women who don't look like them. So when they date black men, or when they date non-black Latino men, or when they date Asian men, they don't like the idea that those men of color can possibly want to date women of color that look like them. White women love it when black girls or Asian girls or non-black Hispanic girls have a crush on these Dudley basic white boys, and they can sit there and say, oh, well, he's not really into you, he's not your type. They say stuff like that all of the time because they know that white boys for the most part are going to be racist as hell and only prefer white girls, even though now lately I've been getting hit on by white boys and white men from left to right. When I was in high school and I was a coon and I liked the white boys, they wouldn't talk to me. But now that I'm woke and I'm not really interested, now they want to come to me. So, hey, I find anyone attractive, but, it's just funny how, now that I just don't really care for the approval of, white people now, more of them want to, talk to me or try to hit on me. That's so weird and funny. But, yeah, growing up, white girls loved it when they told other black girls, well, this white boy is not really your type. Microaggressive things like that. Oh, here's this black boy that is totally not your type and is completely a trash person. You should totally date this guy. He's for you. Y'all always did that to us. Y'all always pulled some random black guy who we had nothing in common with, was clearly just kind of not a good person, but you wanted us to date because he was black. And then you wouldn't want us to date this white boy that was a friend of yours because we thought he was cute. That's just how y'all are. Y'all did that with FK Twigs, where she was dating Robert Patterson from Twilight. And it was a bunch of white girls just so mad, just harassing her, sending her racist comments. Or Prince Charles with Megan... What's her name? Megan somebody, but she's an actress on Suits, I believe. She's biracial, racially ambiguous, but people were going after her, sitting here saying, she's ghetto and her mama from Compton and blah, 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 or Crenshaw, whatever area she was from. But they gave her so much misogyny, and they really went after her mom, which was interesting because they didn't really say much about Megan because Megan is racially ambiguous, but they went after her mom, via proxy. I thought someone was knocking because I know I got the door a little bit open, but the screen door is locked. But they really were just going ham on this Megan woman and her mom, and it's y'all are ridiculous. And it was a lot of white women too saying, oh my God, he's not her type, and oh my God, she's not even that pretty. They say that with Jesse Williams and his wife, who may now be having an affair with Minka Kelly, and the same white women and the light-skinned women that were saying she's so ugly are now just happy and saying Minka Kelly is so pretty. Y'all are so insecure. Y'all are so racist and insecure. Y'all colorist. Y'all misogynistic. I'm not falling for it anymore. I'm not. That's all I have to say for now. Have a great day.